Hey everyone, week 2 intro video. Couple things before I go over the assignments. Number 1, I have put in the PowerPoints again, and I've actually put 2 files for each chapter. So when you open up and you go to the lecture handout section, you're going to see a file that says chapter 4 PowerPoint. That are going to be the PowerPoints just like last week. So that will include like little bubbles at the bottom of me talking and expanding on certain slides. I only pick certain slides because I do know you're, young, intelligent adults who are reading the chapters, and I put these PowerPoints on for you to learn, but there are certain slides I feel like I need to expand more and give you all some clarification. I've also now just put a PowerPoint slide with no coach pins, so there's no bubbles. There was just a few of you who had a hard time opening them on your computer, so I want to make sure you at least have access to a PowerPoint slide. But if they worked for you, please do the ones with coach pins on them just so that you have all of the information. So you'll technically have 4 files, 2 for chapter 4, 2 for chapter 5, but you just have to watch one or go through one, okay? So the assignments for week 2 is you're going to read chapter 4 on Monday. You're going to go through the PowerPoint slide, and then I also have some online videos I want you to watch. Those online videos need to get watched Monday at the latest, sometime Tuesday, but they need to be watched before you answer your discussion questions. They're about youth sport. They're really interesting, so you're going to want to watch these videos. On Tuesday, you have chapter 5 due. You're going to review the PowerPoint presentation and then answer the discussion questions. Just like my video said last week, expand on these discussion questions. You need to provide a lot more detail. I graded all the discussion questions. I left comments on there. The majority of you, the reason why you lost points is there just wasn't enough expansion. So look through the rubric of the discussion questions so you can, really do a good job this week. Peer responses were awesome last week, so keep it up. Try to respond to a new peer this week, or peers if you can, if that works out. And at any point, you are allowed to respond again. So if someone sends you a peer response and you thought it was interesting or they said something, you are more than welcome to respond back to them. That is not part of the assignment, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that that was something that you could do. Thursday, the quizzes for chapter 4 and 5 will be due. That's in the coursework. And then you have your first current event due. There is a tab on the left side for current events. So please read through the current event tab, okay? There is a detailed rubric on there. It is a 2-page paper about a current event that has happened within the last year. I'm not going to get really picky about whether it happened in May of 2019 compared to June, but I just don't want an old article. So this is 2 pages in length. A lot of times people ask, should it be single or double spaced? I don't care. If you feel like you have a lot of things to write about and you need it to be single spaced, then leave it single spaced. If you think it needs, that you can get your point across in double space, then use double space. But I also know that, the margins and things, don't mess around with those. I mean, I've been doing this long enough that I know what a 2-page double space paper looks like. So it needs to be a full 2 pages. You need to cite the source. So I need to know the article title, the author, the date, the journal, wherever it came from. I need to have it all in APA format, ideally. If that is not a format that you typically use, if you like MLA, I'll take that too, but it needs to be cited. Again, that could be at the top of the page, or you could make it a 3rd separate page, which a lot of students do. That is fine. What is in your current event? You're going to give me a synopsis of what the current event is. Here is what happened in this article that I read. Then you're going to connect it to the chapters. That's why your current event at this time really needs to be something about playing or changing participations, like burnout, anything that we talked about in chapter 3. It can be about youth sports, or it could be about deviance in sports. And as you'll read in chapter 5, deviance in sports is covering cheating, drug use, gambling, hazing. So believe me, you'll definitely be able to find a current event in the deviance section if you feel like you couldn't find one in youth sports or with participation in sports, okay? Then the last part of the paper, you're going to write about your personal viewpoint or experience with the article that you read. So you might pick out an article that you have no experience with or can relate to in any way, shape, or form, but that's what you're going to write about. I could not relate to this at all. Here's what my experience was. It was quite different, or, I didn't realize that drug use was so heavily used in cycling, ... So make sure that you read that's what you're doing with the current event. That will be due on Thursday. Then on Friday, your personal learning posts are due. And remember, I will have your week 1 personal learning post grade with comments by tomorrow. So that way you have plenty of time to kind of make any adjustments before you do that final assignment. Couple quick things. Number one, there's been a lot going on in society, and this is when I wish we could just be together in a class because we would have a lot of things to discuss. And right now, our chapters that we're going over actually aren't touching on anything that is going on in society, but they still soon will. But this weekend, I have to highlight again, Drew Brees, came out, made a statement about the national anthem. Then he came back out and apologized, and both situations has really caused some dialogue to happen, and that's putting it lightly. Also this weekend, Iowa Hawkeyes strength and conditioning coach was put on administrative leave because of comments that he was saying to his student athletes over the years, and now they're investigating that. And then Kinnick Stadium last night was vandalized quite significantly. So there is a lot going on, and we need to constantly be listening and learning and understanding what is happening in society. So we'll touch on a lot of this next week. That's why week 3 is not posted yet, just because there's a lot. And next week there'll be a ton of videos. I'm going to give you a lot of videos to watch. They're all going to be optional, but there's a lot to talk about and kind of unwrap on what's not only going on in sports when it comes to race, but also what's going on within our society. Last little thing, we are going to be talking about deviance this week. If you have access to the 30 for 30 or ESPN, watching the Lance Armstrong 30 for 30 would be really good and really kind of enhance this. I'll be honest, a year from now, I'll probably own that and be distributing it to my class and making them watch it. But since it's so new and not everybody has access to this, I can't require it. But if you do or can, make sure you watch it. It would really kind of, you're going to see a lot of connections from chapter 5. So week 2, keep working hard. If you have any questions, let me know.